David Gregg,
Yes.
Mario Gutierrez,
Yes.
student Michaela Gaddis, here, and Joanna Marcus. Approved agenda. Do I hear a motion? Yes. Second by Kirk. All in favor?
Aye. Both students say aye.
Okay, there's no comment from the cover? No. Okay, reports and communications. ASD student board member report. Michaela? Okay.
So second semester schedule change for this year must be submitted by December 18th. Your book prices are coming up to $75 after winter break. You can also pay $5 to lock in the $70 purchase. CSF would like to extend warmth, care, and concern for the homeless in our area. CSF is having a blanket drive and will donate new or gently used blankets to the local Salvation Army, who will give them to those in need. Drop-off boxes are in Ms. Greenberg's room 503, the front office, and Ms. Dempsey's room 502. Today, Ms. Speed's wife, Vicki Speed, came and spoke an impactful message about Coach at Campus Life. AFJ ROTC is sponsoring a food and toy drive in conjunction with the Rosemont VFW. If you have any food or toys, or you would like to donate, drop them off in one of your classes or the front office. Toys must be new and still in original packaging. All items will be donated to those in need in the Rosemont community. Drama's annual improv show will be Friday, December 7th in the drama room. Tickets are $5, but if you wear a holiday sweater, you can leave for $4. All students who are taking college classes or who would like to take classes and do not qualify for the California Promise Grant need to see Ms. Galindo for more information on the new program. CSF is also selling holiday grams at lunch. The basic gram includes a card and a button for $1, and the premium gram includes a stuffed animal and a card for $2. Tomorrow, both girls and boys soccer are on the road for their first league game at Fraser.
Joanna?
And just a FYI, it's the Rosemont VFW Auxiliary that's sponsoring the toy drive and food drive.
ASD is planning on having a talent show, but it is scheduled until after winter break. All TMS students are welcome to join. The Outreach Club is raising money. They are selling Donald coupons for $5 each. ASB is planning a pep rally on December 14th to start off the basketball season. Students can order winter wishes from the science pool for $2. Basketball season started and our first game is scheduled for girls home and boys away on Tuesday. ASB is hoping to get a mascot suit. A bandstand, beginning band, and choir are having a winter concert on December 11th at 7 p.m. in the cafeteria.
West Park Elementary showcasing.
Don't be so excited.
Never mind. You want me to record?
No.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for coming out today. West Park is doing lots of different things to improve our school and working together as a team. As you can see, West Park Rocks Showcase, hashtag, gotta have that up there. So these are our West Park happenings so far this year and things that we're doing at our school to improve. At the beginning of the year, we had some goals that we gave all of our teachers and staff, talked to them about things and ways of things we're focusing on throughout this school year. And the things that we want to focus on to make sure our kiddos are getting what they need are building positive relationships and school environment here at West Park, continuing to improve instruction through our PLC work, increasing parental engagement, and increasing student attendance. All of these together, we feel, as a school site, will increase our student achievement in general. Some things that we're doing to build positive school relationships, we're having our school happenings. Some of those are capturing our kids' hearts, which you've heard from Tropico as well as Rosemary Elementary School, so I'm not going to go into a bunch of detail for that. We are doing basically similar things as Rosemary Elementary School in that area. We do have golden tickets, which you guys have our November chain in front of you. Our kiddos earn those golden tickets for doing great things inside mostly outside of the classroom, but sometimes they'll do something extra special within the classroom that their teacher feels they might deserve a golden ticket for. You can read them that are on there. That is just November's chain. We have so many golden tickets. Mr. Shevlin, would you like to show our board on the golden tickets we have in our bucket? Yes, so the ones over there are from August and September. And then we realized how many golden tickets that we were going to be getting for our students being amazing. So at first we were only giving like 2 a day, announcing them in the morning. So what happens is they earn those golden tickets, they get brought to the office, they're put in the big bucket over here. At first we were only choosing 2 golden tickets a day, so that's why the beginning of the year chain is not quite as long. But our bucket was quickly growing and I didn't want it to flow over. And also I wanted to make sure that the kiddos kept the rhythm up and kept trying to earn those golden tickets. So we started doing 5 a day, and then we found that's not enough. This is our October chain, and so it was getting a little bit longer. November was a shorter month because we did have the week off for vacation. So even in October though, we gave out at the end of the month, was it pumpkins for 30 kiddos, I think, got pumpkins for their golden tickets at the end of the month. The last month we gave them a little prize at the end of the month as well. 48 tickets at the end of November because we are just having so many tickets and our kiddos being so amazing. They, but on a normal daily basis, we pull 5. Their names are announced in the morning announcements. They come up, they add their ticket to the chain, they pull a new ticket out for the next day's announcements, and then they get to pick a prize out of our mini prizes inside of our prize box in my office. And so it's just a really great thing that they get to see, and everybody gets to hear those names every single day. We have our Student of the Month awards. Basically, we focus on our teachers choose 1 kiddo from their class, and they get to get an award at the beginning of the next following month, and based on the value that we are working on. So the teacher, this month, for example, we're working on responsibility, so our teachers are going to be picking 1 kiddo from their class that's showing that value the most, and then they get that award at that awards assembly. Some fun activities that we do, and we're going to show you on, I'll just go ahead and show you on the next page. These are just some of the fun things that we've done already this school year. The picture here, we just had a growth mindset assembly, and he came out and he did a growth, for example, one of his big things was he had his hat on backwards, and at the end of the thing, he turned it around, and it said yet. And that's one thing he tried to tell, he explained to the kiddos that when you say I can't do something, always add the word yet to the end. Because no matter how many times, it's going to take time to keep on trying, and eventually you're going to get there, but you're just not there yet. So that was one of the things he quoted. There was about 3 or 4 different quotes that he used throughout the thing, and he used rap and hip hop to get the kids really involved and excited about growth mindset and using his quotes and those types of things. He also offered them his free CD that they could download. I sent that information out to all of our parents so that those kiddos could get that free CD with lots of positive different things. We have one of our teacher, two classes, Mrs. Jones, who is back over there, stand up, and Mrs. Paul. They did a thing for Ellis Island. They reenacted the whole thing. of the kiddos going on the trip and on their trip over. So it was just a really great experience for the kiddos. They learned a lot through that process, and it was just a great thing. This is one of our Student of the Month awards, and all of our kiddos that were earned awards that day. And there's our Wiley Wildcat back there in the back. It was not Ed, I believe it was one of our wonderful parents, Miss Chelsea, right there. We do have a couple pictures from our Halloween day, where our kids were participating in lots of fun, different games and activities by grade level, and going around from grade level to grade level and participating in activities. Our kindergarten had a pumpkin day, and this is one of the pictures from that. They did all kinds of things, including learning about different pumpkins. They threw a pumpkin on the ground and had to estimate how many seeds were inside. They just did a lot of really great things. This was Mrs. Garcez's class, and they were learning about friction, and so they built towers and different things, and gravity, and it was just a really great experience as well. So those are some fun things we're doing to make education fun and making the environment in our school a more welcoming environment for the kids. As administrators, we are going through the classrooms and visiting on a frequent basis, writing really quick emails to the teachers about positive things that we've seen in the classroom, letting them know what a great job they're doing and that we're here to support them. So that's building a great relationship between us as administrators and our teachers and staff. Every morning we do a Project Wisdom morning announcement and give the kiddos some kind of announcement about a great way to be a character building thing as well, and it's just a really great thing for them to hear every day, uplifting. So basically, I have to say that our students, parents, teachers, and staff here at West Park are an amazing team. So there's our pictures again. Our PLC, our Professional Learning Communities, these are some of the different things that we have for that. We have our leadership team meetings, which and our PLC Google Agenda, our PLC team meetings, our SMART short-term goals for math and ELA, and right now we're working on math essential standards, development and focus of instruction and student intervention, and working together to meet all of our students' needs. And I'm going to have a couple of our teachers coming up and talk about how they feel PLCs are working at our school and helping them to improve our students' education.
All right, good evening. I'm Rebecca Eubanks. I'm our first grade teacher on the leadership team, and this is...
I'm Terry Goodman, third grade leadership team.
All right, so as Mrs. Lacey said, we've been doing PLCs for the last few years. Basically, they're like grade level meetings that we have on our minimum days. But this year, we've taken a different focus, or maybe we're more focused. And she mentioned SMART goals. So what we do is we sat down and, for example, first grade, we went through the kindergarten math standards, and we decided what were the essential things that those students need to be successful in first grade. And then it went down the line. All of the grades did that. So that we're focused on what we really need to hit upon during our instructional time. So what we do is we will give a pre-test and see how the students do so we can see areas of need. And then we come up with a SMART goal. So we decide what we'd like to see from our students, and then at the end we give a post-test. And we do this both for language arts and we do this for math, but this year we're really focusing on math to improve our math scores. So some of the slides that Mrs. Lacey put up there are just pictures of what we fill out. We do an agenda every month, and so we put down what our SMART goals are. We put if we've achieved the goal from the month before, and if not, what interventions we're doing to get those students into grade level. And I think that's about it. You have anything else in third grade? Most of the grade levels do basically the same thing, and then when we meet for leadership, we talk about how we're doing on our journey. So, thank you.
Yeah, Terry did an amazing job. Thank you very much. So yes, basically, as she stated, our math essential standards, development, and focus of instruction. When we looked at our assessment scores, we're improving in both English language arts and in math. But it's a smaller amount in math, and our scores are just a little bit lower. So we've been working with the same curriculum for longer in math as well. So what we wanted to do is look at those essential standards and see what they really needed to be successful in the next grade, and in the next grade, and in the next grade, and working together as a real leadership team
to make sure that we're teaching those standards. If we need to do more focus on the specific standard that our curriculum is actually doing, then we need to find ways to be able to get that done and ensure that our students learn those essential standards before they go to the next grade so they're successful there. So that's our main goal this year, is working on that math. We're still working on our reading and ELA and our writing, but our focus right now is really just working on that math as in real close focus. And I think that's going to really have a big impact, not that we're lessening in any other area. The cycle here is what she was talking about, where they do a pre-assessment. So the short-term goal is like for the next 4 to 6 weeks. So they make a goal of the standards that they're focusing on right now. So they do a pre-test on those standards. They develop their instruction based on what needs to happen to make sure that their kiddos get those standards. And then they do a post-test at the end that's very similar to the pre-test. So the pre-test, when they get it, those kiddos look at it and they're like, oh my God, I've never seen this before, which is true. But so they might find that some students are really ready, they got it going on. Who do we really need to focus on? What really do we need to focus on? And how can we get our kiddos where they need to be? So the PLC is huge in making sure that our students get to where they need to be. So now, Mr. Shepard is going to start talking about parental engagement. And in a few seconds, we're going to call up our 2 lovely PTA people.
A little bit. So some of the stuff that we wanted to go over with you guys as well is with the parental engagement. So we have, this year we started back with the West Park PTA, and our 2 lovely ladies are going to come up in a few minutes. We also started with, along with the district, doing our newsletters, which for us is the Wildcat Scoop.
Oh, I named it wrong up there. Whoops, my bad.
Oh, well, close enough. It's the Scoop. Let's just leave it at that. We're also, I do the Twitter for our campus, and I actually do the Facebook page for our district as well. So when events are coming up, or like such as the board meeting tonight, we try to get more of the parents involved by sending it out, or if they want to communicate through with the tweets, or it's Twitter, not the Twitter, but we call it the Twitter.
It's our thing.
It's our thing. And with Facebook and stuff, we realized that by reaching out, we've seen more parental involvement on our campus, because more parents are informed now through modern, like, technology and stuff like that, as opposed to just the paper and envelope and stuff like that going home. Sure. And our school is doing either Clash Dojo or resign. Some of the teachers have actually even added me and Miss Lacey onto it. Just this past weekend, I actually had parents communicating with me through one of our teachers' class dojos, which helps for eliminate maybe the parent not having the opportunity to come into the school. So now they can send me messages as well through class dojo. We were able to set up a parent meeting and stuff. So we also do Blackboard messages, like the district. And one of the other things we do is family game nights or family night activities. This past, which we'll get to, but we just did a math night on our campus. We have assemblies, class performances, projects, and our parent volunteers. And we actually, just this past Monday in our PTA meeting, it was brought up that we, on our campus, which was kind of overwhelming here, we have over 2,100 hours already of parental parents coming on to volunteer. That the PTA added up. And with that, I'm going to ask the PTA ladies to come up and give us a little take on them.
But not right now.
We will go back. We will go back.
She's short.
Hi, I'm Chelsea, the PTA president, and this is
Suzanne, he's our first VP of Ways Meetings.
And we just want to let everyone know that our first PTA event is our Winter Wonderland, Friday, December 14th. It's here in the cafeteria. We're going to do a movie. We also have a Santa room going in over here in the music room. We're going to have, Santa's going to give away a craft, and we're going to have popcorn and snacks that are included with the ticket. We're also selling holiday grams, which we started selling this week, and parents can come in and send one to staff members or to their students or students to friends. And and those will be delivered on the 13th, next Thursday. And then our next event in spring would be the Spring Book Fair, and we're partnering up with a local restaurant to do a readathon with them. And I think that's it. Yeah.
More to come.
More to come. I'll go back to the book.
Yeah, my phone's cute.
Oh. Her engagement in education is like a frosting on a cupcake. It makes it complete. Oh, so sweet.
And I had to make him read that. Like.
Yes. One of the things that actually is not up here for the parental engagement is we actually had a parent, and you'll see it's later on our agenda, but back in the beginning of end of September and October actually came to us and said that with the cuts and stuff that they wanted to see what they can do to help us. And it's part of a Pheasants Forever. Now, I'm not going to lie. I think maybe some of you guys know what that is. I had no idea, not a clue. I was told just come, they're doing a fundraiser. We want to raise money for teachers and their supplies, and that they can help get stuff in the classroom for the kids and stuff. And me and Miss Lacey were like, sure, hey, we're there. Miss Lacey unfortunately couldn't make it. So I showed up with my wife. We were all dressed nice to the to the T's, shirt and tie, and yeah, I didn't realize it was a hunting organization. So, just a little side note there. But fortunate enough that this parent who has a child in 2nd and 3rd grade, Miss Goodman is actually one of the teachers, and Miss Kwame. They actually asked me to come up. We talked about the school. I brought the 2 little boys up with me, and we were able to raise $2,600 from the organization, where they basically did like a like a silent auction, where not a silent auction, an auction, where they just said, hey, how much money do you want to donate to the cause? And I was surprised. We had some people would go like $500, $100, $200, and what it wound up being is $2,600 was donated, and that's on our agenda as well. And that's just through communication with our parents. He felt that the teachers were, opening up and asking them, hey, can we get some stuff? And they felt that them just bringing like a tub of, crayons or something wasn't sufficient. That they wanted to go above and beyond, and we were fortunate for that, we were able to do that. Oh, beginning of the year, our fall festival?
No, when we got dumped.
I was trying to block that out. Also, the VFW let us use their, that was the auxiliary. Well, I meant we were able to use the property. With Rosewood Elementary partnering with us. And yes, we were able to get dunked by people thanks to our 2 PTA ladies. Yes. But no, it was very nice. A lot of it just shows the support even of our campus and Rosewood Elementary's campus to come together as a community to see there's a need and do something about it. Communication, this is what we just talked about. So that's our Twitter page, our Facebook, not Facebook, our web page. Then we have our Wildcat Scoop, Clash Dojo. Do we have Remind up there?
No.
No, okay. And we also use Remind. Now, what we wanted to share with you guys is that we were just looking over some of the statistics and stuff like that. So just by redoing all this stuff, creating the different sites and stuff, we've actually noticed that since last year on our welcome page, which is just the initial page, there was...
Because we keep our website, it's updated at the end of every month for the following month with dates and information. So we've seen a huge increase in the number of visits to our website.
So November of 2017, we've actually 21 visits. This past month, we actually had 317 visits to our welcome page. And our highest month was October, where we actually had 485 visits to the page. So obviously it's working. I know it's a push that you guys are asking us to do as well and supporting, so it's working. Our family night here is what a lot of our Rosewood Elementary as well came over, and then next semester we're going to Rosewood Elementary to do an ELA night. So this past one was a math night, where they provided activities for more kindergarten children where they came with their families and they were able to just to sit and kind of have some fun and learn. And here's some pictures from that. What was that?
We also had our title.
On our Title I nights up there where we opened up to the public to come in so that we could go over where the funding was going, how Title I works, any questions that needed to be asked, we were able to provide answers for or get them answers. And our student attendance. So now this is something that is a big push, obviously, with our percents and everything from last year going down. And what we've realized here at West Park is that our chronic absenteeism went from 12% or 12.2 in September to, it actually went down roughly 5.5% to 7.1% in the month of November. Now our excellent, we just looked it up today, our excellent meaning kids that have less than 1%, so they might have missed, they might have one tardy, or they might have missed one day, are actually 251 of our over 800 students. But we think that's pretty sufficient that nearly 251 kids have perfect attendance on our campus. And if you just go to satisfactory, so within 5% attendance rate, meaning if you're at 95 or higher, we have another 260. So combined, on our, I believe we have about 810 students. 511 of them are within 5% of perfect attendance or at perfect attendance. So we felt that was pretty significant. When we looked at our chronic absenteeism, we have about 12 families that we kind of really need to push. And we've been doing that through the HUA. We've been setting up phone conferences. We've been, we see them outside at the line. We're asking them to come in. But we've had a pretty good turnout with setting up appointments. And if not, then just calling them up and saying, hey, we get it. You're working. Because a lot of parents, they don't have the opportunity to come in and talk to us. And a lot of times it's just a minor things where we have a student who changed medication. And yeah, they've been late for 5 or 6 days. And they're going to get that letter. Or it's been major where we realize that, oh, we need a health plan for this kid. Or we need to maybe get counseling for a child. And we've been able to reach families with that as well. So we feel like it's actually been very significant for us to actually build those relationships. And now the first couple of calls, I'm not going to lie, they're like, we keep getting these letters and stuff. But as we spoke to them, they realized that we weren't calling to do the whole I gotcha. We were calling to find out, hey, what can we do to help you? What can we do, like what's going on because we want your kid here? Then you saw a lot of parents softening up and kind of opening themselves up a little bit more to us. We've been able to move a couple of kids from Gen Ed to RSP or SDC just by having these conversations, because we realize that your kid's falling behind. And let's do, what do you need? Let's do it for you. And it's been working. And then we have our, thank you. And that was from our complaint. That's our office staff. And in case you all don't realize that it's showing in the middle, we said we were going to call it out. So I'm not showing it. But thank you guys.
Thank you everyone for coming tonight. I really appreciate the attendance and a really big round of applause for West Park. I think they're doing a fantastic job. I like it. The two things that I liked in particular about that presentation was, number one, re-involving the parents, the PTA specifically, and hopefully we get more boosters coming back as well. I think those were essential to our Roseman history, and they will be essential going forward. It only just makes everything so much better when you have the parents involved. And then the other thing was I love the PLCs, those communities. I think they're fantastic. Everything is being stored, and I think that that's a great opportunity for the schools not just to improve themselves, but also hopefully share with the other schools. So that way you can get some vertical collaboration going on as well. It's so much easier to be able to look back over the years past and see everything that you attempted to do and what you were successful at, and then pass that information on to the next group of teachers coming in, or to be able to share that with the teachers below you or the teachers above you in those other grades. The more vertical integration, collaboration that we have going on, the smarter our students are going to become, and the more educated they'll be when they leave school. So please, by all means, Ms. Lacey, share that with everyone. I think that's a fantastic program. So, thank you, everyone. Appreciate it.
Ms. Kirk?
Thank you for coming and for what he said. No, I really appreciate the fact that you're getting the parents more involved, and I like the idea of all the things that they can go to. It's not just one choice. And like you said, you're not just sending a letter home or a piece of paper that the kids put in their backpack and they never see it again. The phone calls are really a good thing. And I appreciate the fact that you guys are talking to the parents to find out what their issues are so that we can help their student. Because I think in the long run, the parents don't want their kids to fail. They really don't. And if they don't have the support, the kids aren't going to succeed like they want them to. So I really appreciate that. I think that's really great. It'd be nice if we could have it everywhere, you know. You know, that was really great. So thank you so much. And the golden tickets, oh my gosh, I think I might come tomorrow and see if I can get one.
I mean,
Let's do some good.
From what? I have to be good?
You have to do something.
Oh. Well, are you going to be here tomorrow?
I'll write you one if I catch being good.
Okay.
Oh, we can bring you to Starbucks, that might be good.
But this is awesome. I'm so glad that you've increased it, you know, more than just the 2 students a day. Isn't that what you said, the 2? Yeah.
Yeah, it's 5 now.
It's awesome. I mean, the kids, I mean, it's, you know, like anything else. If only 2 kids are going to get it a day, then, you know, they don't think they have the opportunity, so they don't care.
Right.
Now they have the opportunity and they care. I love it. I just think it's great. So thank you so much. And it was a great presentation, and my 2 kids already left, so anyway. Well, they're my kids because I had them at the high school, so yeah, anyway, now they're teachers. Thank you again for coming. It's your turn.
Thank you for coming. You guys have been doing an outstanding job with communication with the public. The golden ticket stuff, I mean, you guys have come up with all kinds of nice, innovative things to support the kids. And I say support it because what you're doing with calling is how can we help? And that's what we're here for. How can we help the kids? So, thank you. And with that,
I want to say thank you all for coming as well, and I do want to emphasize that I do like that you call the parents as well, especially for their attendance, because they sometimes kids don't want to come to school because they're falling behind. So when you do contact a parent, it helps to know exactly what's going on. You know, it could be that the parents are at work and they're home and they're not going to school, and who knows what? Maybe you get a neighbor or whatever you work out is really working. I'm really happy to get that too as well. So you're doing a good job, and I'm really excited about how things are going on. That's fun. With that, we have the RTA report. RTA. Sorry. Is RTA here?
no.
No? CSCA? CBO, Mr. Kirk.
So we've been trying to make a push to get parents to fill out the alternate income form. You probably got an email or a few phone calls. The alternate income form basically is a way for us to report the demographic information for our families. It means a lot for the district. Pretty much all of our funding is tied to that demographic information. So if you've gotten that email and you haven't filled out the form, we made it as simple as possible. It's about 3 questions. Just you can do it in areas. where you can fill out the physical form. I think those went home last Friday. The form means a lot to us. If you could fill it out, even if you don't think you're eligible for what the questions are, just if you could just return it to us, it means a lot for us. We made the push a little later this year. Next year, we're going to make it a mandatory form in the summertime that we require from all families. I can't overstate how important it is for us. All of our funding is tied to this information. So next on the agenda, fire alarms. We finally got them all fixed throughout the district. The facilities department worked pretty much night and day on weekends as well to get it done. We had a vendor come out and help as well. But those have all been fixed, and we will probably soon call out the fire marshal to inspect it and certify it, except this site as well. But also we had to replace sprinkler heads at most of our sites as well, TMS especially. We did 220 sprinkler heads. So at a certain point, a sprinkler head can't be certified any longer by a fire inspector. So we had to replace those throughout the district. Preliminary information for the school bus grant came out. It hasn't been finalized, it's just strictly preliminary. We did fairly well. We might get up to 4 buses depending on what the cost of a bus is. So with the 4 buses, that would include $250,000 towards infrastructure. So we have a better idea in January when they finalize the list, but it looks like we did fairly well on that. And enrollment is basically flat compared to that last year. We have 1 less student than we had last year at this time. So, it's positive news in the sense that we saw a lot of families leaving the community, but it turned out the enrollment stayed flat. We saw a lot of uptick in enrollment last year after Christmas, so hopefully we see that again this year.
I have 2 questions for you, Kirk. First one regarding the sprinkler system. Is there a warranty on the work that was done or on the material that was purchased?
I'm not sure if there's a warranty on it. I have to check on that.
How long does it stay certified?
Industry standard is 5 years for sprinkler heads. What we had a situation where we had a vendor who would come out and certify them. They're licensed to certify sprinkler heads. This vendor, basically the person retired who was doing it, and a new person took on, and their recommendation was they couldn't certify it anymore. And they weren't allowed to. Once that became the record, we had to follow and switch to that.
Were they authorized?
I don't know what the buildup, I don't know what the reason for it was, but basically the equipment that they used to do diagnostics just would not work on the sprinkler. But I could check on the warranty.
And I'm assuming that's tied to the expenditure that we're going to approve here, roughly $12,000. So that could be something anticipated every 5th year.
Yeah, that would be developer fee costs. We're charging $125 for that.
And then last question on attendance. I think that's great that we're flat. The reports also seem to express a roughly 94-95% attendance. ADA?
Yeah, it looks like attendance is actually probably will be better than last year. But we're currently working on that right now. We should have a preliminary ADA number next week.
Great. So
the software is actually just released this week on these statements.
Thank you very much.
Okay, next we have the superintendent, Ms. Hargus.
We can have Mr. Gregg and Mrs. Kirk come on up.
right, Mr. Gregg, you stepped in when we had board member that resigned, and so we want to thank you for your 6 months of service. So
Thank you very much,
thank you
ma'am.
very much.
It's my life.
All right, and Mrs. Kirk, she spent 26 years within the school district as a classified employee, and then once she resigned, she just didn't get enough of us, so she decided to come back, and so we want to thank her for her 8 years of service on the school board. So
She's photobombing.
Great.
Thank you so much. Let's sit on those feet up. Okay.
Good job, Sandy.
Consent items A through F.
I'll make a motion that we accept CPO.
Second. Second by Kirk. All in favor?
Aye. One student vote.
Approved employee use policy for technology resources. Sorry.
So what the employee use policy is when we started with all of our technology, we've had all of our students sign they have received a acceptable use policy so that they know, what the policies and procedures are, but we have never had one for staff. So Mr. Wexler has put that together for us, so we will be passing that out to all of our staff in the coming week.
I'll make a motion that we approve the
I'll second it. All in favor?
Aye.
Single school plan for Redwood High School. Mr. Torres.
yes.
Would you like to say anything about
Say anything about the plan?
about your plan?
Were you just going to say something?
Oh, sorry. I'd like the board to approve it. Rare Earth is in a process of transition. There's some goals we want to work on. We've seen improvement in language arts, a little more deficiency in math, and there is a couple of interventions that we're working on with the teachers, and that's been built into the plan for this year. And we're hoping to see higher scores on the SBAC this year.
That's for River High School and Abraham Lincoln.
No, Abraham Lincoln is a separate school plan. And with Abraham Lincoln, it's a little bit different situation in that all the students are in independent study, and they only come in for appointments once or twice a week, depending on their own special circumstances. So some of the areas that we're going to be working on is what we've noticed is some of our deficiencies in math is that the students don't have a strong math vocabulary base. So we are introducing not only writing as a goal, but also to increase their math vocabulary so that when they're at home, they have a better foundation to move on when they're studying algebra and geometry.
Great, thank you. Next, we have Rosie Elementary School, Mr. Mesa.
So ditto on his part now. So we're looking, I'm just taking a page from a good book. So we're looking for the board to approve our site plan as well too. This is my first year taking on this task, so it was quite an investment. But we do have some amazing school site council representatives this year that are very engaged in participating in the big portion of the plan. I think our site has spent a lot of time on parent involvement. Lots of great ideas have come about with the school site plan on really getting to know your school and knowing what is in your school and what is offered to our students. And I think with that said, I think there's a good game plan here to move forward with, especially our ELD students that will be getting some designated time to support all the teachers. Things that we have done as far as like GLAD strategies and stuff like that. And we have a team going up to Bakersfield next week as well too, to implement some of those things to help increase our ELD students that are language deficient to help support them and stuff like that. So.
West Park Elementary School?
A lot of, we're also asking for you to approve our single plan for student achievement. A lot of what is in our plan was what we went over today in our presentation of ways that we are trying to meet our goals that are in our plan. So a lot of those things are included in our goals. Our goals go along with what the LCFF or our plan that the district has put together, as well as the continuous improvement work that we've been doing with the county. So our plans go along with that. We noticed in our school site council, we really looked at our assessment scores, and we did, as a school site council, also noticed that we are decreasing, the number of our students that landed in the below standard area in English language arts and math. But the number is still more, it's more significant than what we would like to see. So we are working on a lot of different ways to improve and decrease that number even more, especially in the area of math, because the number of students in the below standard or standard not met area is a little higher in the math than it is in the English language arts, as I stated earlier. So we're working towards that. But as all of our goals go along with what the district is working on, so we would really appreciate it as well if you would improve our plan. Thank you. Any questions?
I'd like to table all the plans with some clerical errors in some of the writing and stuff, dates and stuff like that. So next week we'll have to formally approve it. So I'd like to table that if we can.
So do we do each one then?
Yeah, I'd like to table
all of them.
APD. So I'll make a motion to the table.
Second by Kirk. All in favor?
Aye. Student list, yes.
Next on the agenda, we have approved resolution 18-19-08 for program applications, grant to support the full-day kindergarten facilities and instructions.
So, there's a presentation that goes along with this. It's not my presentation.
I like presentation.
I'll do my best to explain it. John Greenlee was supposed to be here too for that, but he wasn't able to make it. From CFW. So the item on the agenda is a resolution that says the district supports full-day kindergarten. We already have full-day kindergarten, but this grant could go towards improving the classrooms we already have, modernizing them. CFW is our financial advisor. They weren't able to make it. The grant is through the Office of Public School Construction. That's a state organization. And the goal is full-day kindergarten facilities. I can barely read that, so I don't expect anyone else to. Basically, this is a law that passed last year. It funds the grant this year in 18-19. There's up to $100 million for facilities. That includes new facilities and modernization of existing facilities. It's really meant for full-day kindergarten, but the idea is this grant will probably become a springboard for other grants. So if we could get our application into this grant, even though we can't get it funded, will be on a list that will probably eventually get funded. The goal will be this coming few years through the legislation and the new governor providing more funds for teachers in preschool and kindergarten. So this was probably the first step for that, to provide the facilities for these classrooms. It's not intended for projected enrollment, and we already have the enrollment, so we don't have to worry about future projections. We could already qualify for this based on what the number of kids we have in kindergarten. There is a matching portion to this, but if we could prove financial hardship, we're exempt from the matching, which we could prove financial hardship. And it's to supplement and not supplant. So what that means is this money is meant to help us build something, not to basically, if we were going to use this money to do things we were going to do anyways, we wouldn't qualify. But if we get this money, we would do things we wouldn't be able to do, mainly modernizing classrooms. There's 2 rounds of funding for this. The applications received in January, there's $37 million, and the second round in May, there's $60 million. Again, the idea is this will probably build a list towards funding these kinds of projects. We have an option of saying, thank you for the grant, but we can't use it, and returning the money, so we're not obligated to use the money if we receive it. Right now, we don't have any plans for the funds. The funds would be used for developing architectural plans and putting a cost to the projects. Eligibility and application scoring. So again, one of the main factors in this, if you can see here, our free and reduced price meal rate. That's our unduplicated count of 73%. Again, that's tied to the applications that we asked all of our families to fill out. The income survey, 73% is very high for a school district in the state. For us especially, that means 73% of our population either is free, reduced, English learner, homeless, foster youth, or English learner, immigrant, or migrant. So 73%, 80 possible priority points. So already we start at an advantage with the priority points in terms of scoring for this grant. So this is just an example of what kind of money that would be tied to this grant application. This is for West Park last year. Based on enrollment, number of classrooms eligible for funding would be 2. That includes matching over there. So the $1.5 million, that matching would be financial hardship that we would apply for the state to fill that gap, because we wouldn't be able to match that. The $1.5 million would also be part of the planning funds. So what we pay an architect to get the plans together in BSA. So part of the application process is this resolution saying that the board supports and wants full-day kindergarten classes. If we were to receive the money, the idea would be upgrade the classrooms we have. If we're able to upgrade the classrooms we have with the money we have, replace portable classrooms with permanent classrooms, building the last building at the new Rosen Elementary School. And financial hardship has a definition as to what the state considers hardship, and we meet that definition. Any questions?
That does not include TK, because is TK put under the preschool?
Well, this grant only addresses kindergarten classes.
Okay.
Yeah. We have classrooms, so it could work where if TK classes are in classrooms right now, the idea is we'd like to convert it into kindergarten classrooms. There's some modernization that has to go into that. So there's a wide variety of ways to qualify for the grant.
I didn't know if that grant was includes that TK program, which is TK slide down to preschool.
Right now,
Which
it's
is
kindergarten, but,
The grant that wasn't approved last year.
right, it's just kindergarten, but what we're hearing is it possibly might include more funding for TK down the line.
Either way, this is only a one-time grant, so it would only go to facilities. It would not support any type of additional ongoing expenses.
Yeah, this is strictly for developing the facilities to offer these classes.
And is it the intention that the school would try to renovate more buildings than just what we had in order to try to expand the kindergarten program?
The idea would be to renovate the old RES, put bathrooms in the classrooms. That would be one of our priorities. The other priority would be building the minor building at RES. Another priority would be putting a new building here and getting rid of our portable buildings. Well, we pay at least on the portable buildings, right? You know, it's, studies have shown kids just do better in the classroom.
Thank you.
All in favor? Aye. Personnel items.
Could I make a motion with a question?
With the question.
The question is, most of the resignations are people who are actually moving into other positions, correct?
Oh, it's 8 o'clock.
Go, let's try this.
Let's come off that way. We all have fun. Do you have questions?
Yeah.